Norman, and today we have a reading for you about somebody telling you some gossip or something that they may have witnessed. And I feel like it's something that you knew all along. It could be with this Emperor card, it could be something to do with a relationship, a boss, or maybe even a family member. But the main energy that's coming through is you were able to pick up on some clues. You guessed what was going on before, I think, before anybody else did. So you're going to get confirmation of that truth or that suspicion that you had. And people are going to be like, okay, I guess you knew what you were talking about. So let's call on spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. I hope you're having a good day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedonestarot@gmail.com. You can find that email address in the description box along with more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members, as well as a link to my Etsy shop if you are interested in a homemade soy candle. Let's dive in. I think we're going to start with the Marigold Tarot. What else do we have, please? What else do we have? Five of Swords in the reverse. Wheel of Fortune. Knight of Wands. So if you had a friend or a colleague make you a promise, you might have been like, I don't think that's going to go through. If somebody said they were going to, break up with their boyfriend or girlfriend so that they could get with somebody else, you knew that they weren't actually going to break up. There's something here where you're like, yep, I think that they're just saying what somebody wants to hear or saying what everybody wants to hear, and then they're going to change their mind. You predicted a different outcome than what was like promised. Hello, Ome. How are you doing today? Hello, Spiritual Awakenings. I hope you're having a good day. Three of Pentacles. The Fool and the Ten of Cups. I do feel like for many of you, this has to do with a group of friends or coworkers. And I do feel like there is a rumor mill or a lot of gossip that goes around in this group. And I think even when you do your best to be a little bit away from that energy, it still comes back to include you or loop you in somehow. And I think you were just kind of like standing on the sidelines like, I think this is going to happen. I don't think that person's being honest with themselves over there. So you have a pretty good pulse on what's going on, even if you don't like to get too wrapped up in all of the chaos, right? Hey, Rick, if they don't mean anything, that means you can go find another channel. I wish you the best. Hello, Tyler. Hello, Uma. How are you doing today? We have the Ten of Wands and the King of Wands. So is this about dating? I feel like this is someone, yeah. I feel like this is either somebody who has a very, like, everyone talks about their relationship. Maybe one of them works in the kitchen, one of them works behind the bar. Maybe this is like the top salesperson having a bunch of romances at work. But you knew that something was going to fall through or that something was going to change. Someone's answer was going to change or how they actually approached something was going to change, right? So we have the Three of Swords in the reverse and the Nine of Wands in the reverse. Your ability to predict what was going to go on or how this person would act has enabled you to avoid being in the middle of all of this chaos. I feel like it's just because you've been around the block a few times. You know how these things go. Maybe you told someone, I wouldn't date that person. You are friends with them or everybody's connected to them. It could get awkward. Or I wouldn't date that person because it's like your best friend's sibling or, you know, your coworker. That's just going to get awkward. You called it, my friend. You are exactly right. And whatever you predicted is happening right now. And you're just over here like, you know, I wish I wasn't right, but I guess I am. Hello, Tango. How are you doing? What else do we have? We have the Knight of Cups, the Seven of Rings or Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Five of Cups in the reverse. Yeah. Someone went rushing into a relationship or feeling like they could trust somebody who really is not trustworthy. You said, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Or, you know, the general group of people here were like, that seems like a bad idea. Like, you can't save him. You can't save her. What are you doing? They did it anyways, and now they're over here telling everybody like, dang, I got burned by that one. I thought that I knew what was going on, but it turns out that I, in fact, did not. Hello, John. Feel free to put your request in a super chat. I will do personal questions after the general reading, which would be in about 30 minutes. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Gary. How are you doing? Hello, Melissa. I hope you're having a good day. We're going to go with the Touchstone Tarot. What else do we have, please? Hold on, we got one that's not flipped over. There we go. What else do we have? The Devil in the reverse, the Ace of Swords, and the Sun in the reverse. And maybe you've just got this pulse on what people are like or how they tend to act. Maybe someone was trying to turn over a new leaf and you just had this sneaking suspicion that they were going to struggle to do that. But with the Sun in the reverse, it does look like we have someone who's upset at how things have turned out. But they had this opportunity to listen to reason and not pursue this thing that did not turn out very well. They didn't want to listen to you. Nine of Wands. Because you recommended taking a more conservative or like reserved approach. Like, no, I wouldn't take that risk. I don't think that's a bet I would make. Four of Wands in reverse, because there is shaky territory there. I don't think you can trust that person to be honest or to be, you know, true to those intentions. I think that they're going to disappoint you, and they did. Nope, I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday. Hello, Grind Tired. How are you doing? What else do we have, please? The Happy Squirrel in the reverse. If this person had chosen to listen to you, they could have avoided some disappointment or heartbreak. But instead, they decided to just go ahead and do what they wanted to do. And now it looks like they're telling everybody that things have gone south. Two of Coins in the reverse. They may have lost some money. They may have lost a little bit of dignity. They may be embarrassed by how things turned out. It's like that sometimes. This is the Fairy Wisdom deck. Believe me, Melissa, I get it. I work every day, so I lose track of what day it is. Hello, Jamike. How are you doing? Thank you, John. Let me know what your question is. I've added your name to the list. Let's take that off, actually. We don't need the pen cap. What else do we have? The Balancing Act. See, I feel like this is a workplace romance or like dating your best friend's sibling. Like, there's very few times where that kind of thing goes well. But someone here was like, no, it's going to be the exception to the rule. It's going to be just fine. You know, this is somebody who's like totally crazy about me. And you were like, do you think so? I don't know, man. I think it's going to probably be a problem. All right, let's see what else we get. This is the Royal Fez or the Moroccan Tarot. What else do we have, please? Oh, thank you, Grindhard. We have Judgment and the Eight of Cups in the reverse. Sorry, guys. I don't have very much sweet tea left, but at least that helped. You told someone to walk away from this. You gave someone advice. Like, I don't think I would touch that hot stove if I were you. I don't think I would loan that person money. I don't think you'll get it back. I would not do it. No, I wouldn't. And they were like, I'm going to do it anyways. Hello, Joshua. Please call me Carmen. I would very much so appreciate it if you called me Carmen, okay? Hello, Cozy Cat. How are you doing today? We have the Eight of Wands and the World card. I don't even think you were the only person to say it, but you were probably one of the first people to say it. I don't think that's a good idea. And they felt like it wasn't that big of a deal. Thank you for being a member. I appreciate you. We have the Page of Cups in the reverse. And Death. So they figured that something was going to change, like the rules were going to change for them, or someone who had a pattern of behavior was going to do something differently. But now we have, with the Page of Cups in the reverse, somebody who is upset, frustrated, maybe crying, maybe they've lost money, maybe they've lost their job. But there are consequences that you were pretty certain were going to happen. Justice. You gave advice trying to help somebody avoid this difficult outcome. They didn't listen, and now you're over here like, I told you so. Like, I don't want to say it, but I told you so. I feel like it could be somebody who got fired. Maybe there was a workplace romance that would have been against the rules or the contracts signed, and this person was like, I won't get caught. It's fine. There's no big deal. Well, it was a big deal. Yeah, some people just don't want to learn, you know? Hello, Flower. How are you doing today? In the next week. Let me add that for you, Flower. Anything from guides / grandpa? And then feel people talking tonight. So gossip. Anything I should know to protect myself. I've added that for you. Thank you, Flower. I hope your day is going well. I got that for you, John. No worries. Yes, it's just a part of life, isn't it? Let's give them something to talk about. What song is that? Maybe that's actually the title. I think it's a movie, too. Devil in the Reverse, Ace of Swords. Yeah, you tried to help somebody avoid an issue here. And they were like, no, I think I want to find out all for myself. I'm going to go do that thing that you told me not to do. I'm going to go get into trouble. I feel like this is a workplace affair. Or like now my best friend feels like I can't be friends with them because I tried to date their sibling. Ugh, it gets awkward real quick because there's other things that need to be considered, and with this like dating situation happening, it upsets the apple cart. Knight of Swords and the Queen of Swords in the reverse. Some of you have heard me tell this story before, but I worked in an office of, I think it was like maybe 700 people at the time of this story. It grew a ton while I was working there. But 700 people working in this office in downtown Minneapolis, and there were a lot of people who would go to happy hours with each other, and even though it was generally frowned upon, there was a lot of dating that happened. There was a lot of younger individuals that worked at that company, and there was also a lot of drinking that happened. One guy got pulled into the VP's office one day and was like, I need you to stop dating your coworkers. It has gotten so bad that I don't know how to assign you to group projects or be able to rely on your work ethic because you pissed off half the people you work with. Could you stop sleeping with them, please? Just pretty please. Do you have a dating app downloaded? Could you meet some people outside of the company? Why does this have to be where you meet all your people? This is someone who I feel is dating someone that they shouldn't have dated. And now it's made the work environment real difficult. Everybody's like, ooh, it's tense in here. Everybody's taking sides. How could you do my girl that way? How could you break my man's heart that way? That's so mean. It's not good. It's not good for business. So there's a little talking to that's happening, or there's a lot of tension and awkwardness, right? Hello, James. How are you doing? I love that kind heart. Hello, Nayla. How are we doing today? Yesterday, I met a guy. Check energy. After. And the impact. I got that for you, Nayla. I hope that went well. Ooh, sorry. I keep running into the wand. Ooh, Lord. Yeah, it's you guys, it's so awkward when there's someone who's just going through the whole list of coworkers, man or woman, doesn't matter. It could get real awkward. Anyways, so we have a workplace that's in shambles. There's a bunch of gossip. There's a bunch of awkwardness because somebody keeps dating everybody they work with, or they dated someone in particular they really shouldn't have. And now we have the Chariot. This is someone laying down the law, hey, I need you to keep your pants on at work, please. It's not okay for you to keep sleeping around with coworkers, or, I don't know how I can continue to be your best friend because you decided to break my brother's heart or break my sister's heart. That's just not cool. I have to have allegiance to that person, or, I might have to fire you if you keep making it difficult for people to do their job. Oh, I love that, Nayla. That's awesome. All right, this is the Cagliostro Tarot. What else do we have, please? the Queen of Wands, the Magician in the reverse, and the Ten of Pentacles. We need to focus on the task at hand. We need to make sure the project is done by the deadline. We need to make sure that you're not hitting on the clients. What is that show that I'm thinking of? Oh, I think it was Lisa Vanderpump's Villa. Was that what it is? Vanderpump Villa? Where the people who were employed like as bartenders or whatever, or maybe even like cleaning staff, were hitting on the clients that were showing up and probably paying big money to stay there. And Lisa's like, let's not do that. Let's not make them feel uncomfortable, please. Yeah, see, you got the blessing. I don't think this is about that. I think this is more so a workplace thing. Take it how it resonates. But I don't feel like someone got permission here. We got the Two of Swords. Uh-oh. And the Knight of Hearts or the Knight of Cups. This is about too many people being flirted with or romanced, seduced perhaps, and there's jealousy, there's tension, there's anger. Temperance. So instead of trying to be a little bit more selective, it feels like we have somebody who's really trying to maximize the notches in their bedpost. Look, everybody has free will. You got to do what you want to do or who you want to do. But sometimes there are consequences for that, especially if you're trying to find your next romance at work. There can be a lot of awkward moments that happen as a result of that. And there can also be a lot of people who are trying to be in your business, right? Yeah, it gets weird. I appreciate that, Flower. So we have the Ace of Cups in the reverse. We have someone who's getting a talking to. Hey, could you please stop hanging out with people romantically from work? Or, hey, you know, I don't think that I can continue to remain impartial here. There's some problems that are popping up. And I need you to take a different approach. Or I need you to be a little bit more professional, please. What else? Ace of Swords in the reverse. Disaster. Eight of Swords. Criticism. Reprobation. Have you ever been called a reprobate? It's not fun. It's not a compliment. This is somebody who's definitely getting like a slap on the wrist. Like, hey, so I'm not keeping track of like everybody that you've been with at work, but it is starting to get to be a little bit problematic because now there are people that are mad at you, right? That's not working for the business. It's not going to enable us to be successful. Quite frankly, it might actually make it more difficult because we got people with broken hearts and hurt feelings or jealous because now you started to date somebody new. Hands off, please. Three of Cups. The stars of the reverse is literally saying unfilled hopes. These people think you're going to end up in a relationship, or people think that you're falling in love, and then you go and you find somebody else. Six of Pentacles, giving to more than one person. Giving what? Don't ask. Hello, Papa. How are you doing? All right, let's get a few from the Transformational Tarot, and let's see what else we've got. Thank you, Flower. I appreciate you. Flower, you let me know if you want to be a moderator. All right, now keep in mind, this is the Transformational Tarot, which has an extra, like, I don't know, 22 cards beyond the regular 78 cards. All right, so, yeah, we've got gossip that's been causing an issue here, and somebody who's been, it's like they're lining up their conquests, right? Like, okay, I can't reject anybody. I want them all. How am I supposed to choose between all these attractive coworkers of mine? Maybe I'll just like sample them all. Not the best way to go about it. So we have the Four of Wands following that Four of Cups in the reverse. There are people who are starting to get some expectations, and that comes with some drama, right? No worries, Papa. No worries, Flower. Nope, I wouldn't expect more. Don't worry. So we've got the mystical life. See, this is someone who felt like, you know, that like I can change him. I can change her energy. Yes, maybe this is someone who's a player, but I feel like they're going to fall in love with me and then we're going to have like the happiest life ever. Nope, it didn't go that way. They end up realizing with that Ace of Wands in the reverse and the Ace of Swords, they're seeing now, no, this is somebody who just like is not about that emotional connection. They just want that like physical intimacy or that external validation. Page of Pentacles in the reverse. And then I realized that, you know, I've pursued something that is kind of a waste of time and really just made things awkward at work. And now I have to ask myself, is it worth it to like go look for a different job? Because now it's awkward every time I go to work. Three of Wands in the reverse. Not knowing what to do. Feeling some type of way because then that coworker starts pursuing connections with other people in the office. So it really does get uncomfortable because of this person not really having the best of reputations or not having very much self-control. Let's see. What else do we want? We're going to go with the Path of Shadows. Melanie, keep in mind, it doesn't have to be a workplace. It could be trying to date like your friend's sister, for example. But it's one of those situations where they're trying to date people or sleep with people that are connected in some way that can create negativity or drama. Black Cat, grace, mystery, and psychic abilities. But you're over here like, I wouldn't do that. I think that's going to end horribly. As life unfolds and shadow overpowers light, will my innocence be left untouched? And somebody pursued that relationship thinking that it would go well or that they could, you know, it wouldn't be like all the others. Nope. You can't change them. Fallen angel. Was it even real, the paradise I fell from, or are they just a nightmare? The realms that I now roam. Mummy, between the ancient past and the modern world, is there any place where I belong? So when they get a talking to, this seducer is wondering if they're, you know, going to get fired or wondering if they're going to get booted from this friend group because they're realizing they have a bit of a reputation. They're realizing that they have upset people. It's a little bit precarious for them and they're taking a step back. A little piece in a cosmic puzzle. The universe only reveals its secret if you dare to dance in the starry dazzle. So this individual is starting to realize maybe they're causing a lot of drama or missing out on opportunities or even losing friendships because they can't help themselves or they don't have as much self-control as they should with regards to those physical intimacy pursuits that they're pursuing. All right, this is What's the Truth? Or sorry, the truth is. What else do we have, please? Round and round, cycle of highs and low emotions with no resolve. Children are involved or soon will be. We may have an unplanned pregnancy coming up. And then we also have somebody who's trying to move past their sense of jealousy or frustration because they thought that this was going to turn into something like a committed relationship, but you ended up being right. This person's not going to change their toxic ways. They have unhealthy relationship patterns. Namely, they don't commit to people. Hello, Sacred. How are you doing today? I hope you have a wonderful day. All right, let's see what we've got for those personal questions. We've got John up first, and then Flower, and then Nayla. For John, what is going to be happening in the next week? What does John need to know about in the next week? Chief of Blades, which is the King of Swords. The Four of Pentacles, which also says the Silence. And the Two of Blades in the reverse, or Two of Swords in the reverse. And the Thunderbird, which is the Nine of Pentacles. So in the next week, we have somebody who may be employing the silent treatment, or somebody who is keeping something to themselves that they know you have a right to know. I feel like your intuition is going to be kind of bothering you a little bit. Like, I feel like this person's keeping something from me, but if I ask them, they're not really telling me what's up. If you ask them, did you do this? Did you talk to this person? Or, hey, is there something bothering you? It's going to be like very dismissive, the response that you get from this person. Like, oh, I'm fine. Or, no, I haven't talked to that person. Why would you even ask? They're hiding something from you, and your intuition is telling you that they're hiding something, but they don't want to be honest with you. So we have the Knight of Cups, the Corn Maiden, the High Priestess, and the Two of Swords, or the Two of Blades, which is the Trapper. You're going to get confirmation of your intuition, which is oddly similar to the title for this general reading. But give it some time. Don't pester this person. Be observant. I do feel like you're going to get confirmation that whatever you asked or whatever you were trying to get, out in the open, it's going to be confirmed. This person's just like not ready to be honest with you and almost like making you feel bad about it. Your intuition's right. And eventually you're going to hear from this person, or you're going to like be a witness to something that proves you were right. So act with the assumption that your intuition about this situation is spot on, but don't try to like drag the truth out of this person. It's going to be proven to you eventually. What about this court case in 6 months? What does John need to know about the court case in 6 months? 10 of Pentacles in the reverse. The World in the reverse, and Death. I don't see a very good outcome for this court case, to be honest. I do feel like it takes longer than it should. And I feel like the outcome is not necessarily what you were hoping for. We have the Three of Cups and the Ace of Cups in the reverse. In part, this is because somebody is not doing their job, perhaps a lawyer or somebody who's supposed to be like providing information or confirmation, maybe even a judge that's like kind of like checked out. But I see not so great intentions. Somebody who is manipulating information or specifically not doing right by their job. The thing is, even though this takes longer, or even though somebody's not really doing right, you're going to get justice in the long run. It just might not be the way that you anticipated. Or it may not be through the court system. So let's say, for example, someone owes you money. They end up not being like found guilty, and then you don't get what you should get from this person. But then like 6 months later, they end up having to, or like you get like a windfall of money, or they end up losing the thing that they tried to take from you. It's like you get justice, but not in the way that you expect it to be. Not necessarily through the courts. So do what you can to keep your side of the streets clean. Do not try to force the situation because you're going to get things made fair over time. Oh, I am sending you protective energy. But let's not yell, please. Hello, Shadows Angel. How are you doing? Yeah, we don't need to be yelling, okay? Like, let's just take it down a notch. Feel like that's a lot of energy there. All right, let's see what we've got for Flower. This is the Dragon's Tarot. What are the guides for Flower wanting Flower to know, please, including Grandpa? What does Flower need to know? We have the Queen of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, the Fool in the reverse. So with the Queen of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, I do feel like there's somebody here who's trying to distract you from the truth of the situation, but your intuition is still providing you insights and contradicting what this person is saying. So is this somebody who's outright lying to Flower? Yes. We have the Three of Swords. So there's somebody here who's trying to gaslight you or trying to cover up the truth of the situation. Your intuition is right. And I do feel like over time it's going to be proven. We have the Eight of Wands in the reverse. This is saying try your best to keep distance from this, or don't say too much even though you might be frustrated, because it is going to come out eventually. We have the King of Cups and the Four of Wands, because somebody here is speaking from like a place with very little stability. So it's like they're saying things that they're very confident about. They feel like they can manipulate people or get them to believe it, but they end up being proven wrong. There's holes that end up being poked in their story, and I don't feel like it needs to come from you. There's other elements that point to this being a lie, right? Hello, Laura. I hope you're having a good day. Yes. Don't you worry, Flower. You got protective energy around you. Hello, Dina. How are you doing? Hello, Shadows Angel. Thank you. Hello, Alicia. How are you doing? And is there gossip about Flower going around? Yes. Eight of Chalices. This is someone who feels you walking away or feels distant from you and is frustrated. But I don't feel like they're really getting the desired outcome or having the effect they want. It's kind of like when people are whining and they're seen as like always being negative. So people are like, okay, well, it's just like an average Tuesday. You're whining again. I don't think that they have much influence. So with the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, it really only does more to hurt their own reputation than have any impact on your reputation. And they're going to end up regretting saying what they said about you because it has a negative impact on their own friendships or connections. So let them crash out, let them have their, let them have their little pulpit moment, but it's really only undermining their connections and making them seem petty. So whatever they're saying about you, it's really not that big of a deal. The only people who are going to believe it are people who don't like you already. And what does Flower need to know with regards to protection? We have the Hierophant in the reverse. The Seven of Swords. And the Knight of Cups. Do not press yourself with trying to correct people if there are lies being said about you. There are people who are very well aware of your energy and they will not be persuaded. But another thing that is good for you to do is to, I think you probably already do this, but protective energy around you, either through prayer or maybe even listening to music that makes you really happy. This is going to help protect you from the negative energy being sent your way, but I see there already being a lot of protective energy around you. We have the Lovers in the reverse and the Knight of Swords. Someone who's trying to be sending this negative energy your way or creating anxiety in your life, they're actually going to come up against a pretty significant like foe, or they're going to run into like a cement wall. So it's not going to work out. They're going to have to like change their path. Yeah, that's okay. That's just, you know, they got to learn their lesson from that. You're a bit of like, you know, karma in human form. Hello, V-Rogues, how are you doing? So fear not, these people, it's like they don't know how to actually send this energy your way. It doesn't stick, it just bounces right off of you. So you got this. All right, let's see what we've got for Nayla. Nayla, we're gonna go with the B Tarot. Excellent. For Nayla, yesterday Nayla met a guy. What was the energy check, or what is the current energy, and what impact did Nayla have? All right, so we have the Seven of Wands in the reverse, Eight of Swords in the reverse. This person didn't feel like you were the type of person, like you surprised them with your energy. They expected something different. But we have the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse and the Ten of Swords. I feel like you've surprised them. They're intrigued by you, but they're still kind of looking backwards into the past. So this is someone who wants to feel love and wants to be in a relationship, but they might be struggling to let go of a previous connection. So it makes them a little bit negative in terms of how they interact with others. So it's like, I appreciate your energy. It seems like you are like really perceptive and genuine, but it's still not enough for them to stop thinking about something that recently ended or someone who recently walked away. So there's still this air of rejection or the Four of Cups here because they can't seem to decide to fully put their energy into some new pursuit because they're still thinking about this person that they were previously dating. The World is in the reverse because there's some like unfinished business with this other person. So it feels to me like they are dipping their toe in the pool of dating, but their heart isn't really in it because they keep thinking, you know, oh, what's this person thinking about? Do they miss me? So there's no real, like their heart isn't in it. So I wouldn't get too invested with this person. They're not ready. They're still dealing with something from the past. Yep, you got this, Flower. You're welcome. Is this person going to get over their past, their ex in the near future? No. Moon in the reverse. This is someone who's had their heart broken pretty seriously. I think they're a great person, but they haven't let go of that other connection. So we have the Three of Cups. They want to move on. They want to, you know, have fun with others. But with the King of Swords in the reverse, they're not being fully honest about what they're focused on or who they think about at night. Yes, I do feel like he's a good person. I just don't think he's ready to date because he's still thinking about this ex. So I would not get invested in this person because they're still looking back at this previous connection, and I don't see them being serious about anything new. It's nothing about you. I still think, you know, they're a good person. They had a good time with you, but they're like checked out because of this ex connection. How did he see Nayla? We have the Wheel in the reverse and the Prince or the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. As fun for a short while. But with the Wheel in the reverse, it's like it's not enough for me to change. So it's like, I see you, but I'm only willing to see like the surface level, because to look any deeper or to understand you on an emotional level would require me letting go of this thing from the past. So I would not invest in this. I would let this person heal. I would let them deal with whatever it is that they're still wrapped up in. Did I say hello to Darnell? Hello, just in case. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I love you all. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. Thank you for being awesome. And I will see you on the next reading. Toodles.